Another day. A new success story.
The success story of Kevin Ryan. Who is the champion of today's episode of Success Story? American businessman and investor Kevin P. Ryan launched various New York-based companies, such as Gilt Group, Business Insider, and MongoDB. Between 1996 through 2005, Ryan served as CEO after serving as president of DoubleClick. Short resume. Ryan started his career as an employee of United Media. Ryan founded the Dilbert website, which is based on the well-known Scott Adams comic strip. He assisted in leading a reorganization initiative that more than doubled United Media's profitability while serving as Senior VP of Business and Finance. Ryan previously worked for Euro Disney in France and Prudential Investment Corporation in the US and the UK as an investment banker. Kevin Ryan and DoubleClick. Between 1996 through 2005, Ryan served as CEO after serving as president during that time. If DoubleClick hadn't previously held the Silicon Alley revenue record, Gilt Group's success story might not be as remarkable. Ryan demonstrated that his inherent drive for building a startup was the ideal complement for the combative culture of New York City and its startup scene by surpassing a benchmark with Gilt Group that he had previously established with DoubleClick. "I've been starting and managing internet businesses since 1996, claims Ryan. He began working with DoubleClick in 1996, initially as president and then as CEO. The business eventually developed into the core of contemporary online ad distribution under Ryan's direction. He claims, "I grew DoubleClick from 10 or 20 people to 2,000 at the height. Furthermore, 1,500 when it was sold 9 years later." Ryan served as DoubleClick's CEO as it grew to become one of the biggest online ad marketplaces in the world. Ryan departed the business shortly after DoubleClick was acquired by the private equity firm Hellman & Friedman for $1.1 billion in 2005. The PE group sold DoubleClick to Google for $3.1 billion 3 years later. When Google decided to place its advertising future in the hands of DoubleClick, Ryan's skills were already apparent. When Ryan initiates a motion, it tends to stay in motion. Ryan left his position as CEO shortly after DoubleClick was sold to Hellman & Friedman LLC in 2005 for $1.1 billion. In March 2008, Google paid $3.1 billion to acquire DoubleClick. Ryan invested in theladders.com as an angel investor in 2004. Additionally, he was an early investor and board member of Hot Jobs, which Yahoo acquired in 2002 for $436 million. Ryan also served on the boards of the Direct Marketing Association, the Ad Council, and Hot Jobs at this point in his career. If DoubleClick had not previously held the Silicon Alley revenue record, Gilt Group's success story might not be as remarkable. Ryan demonstrated that his inherent drive for building a startup was the ideal complement for the combative culture of New York City and its startup scene by surpassing a benchmark with Gilt Group that he had previously established with DoubleClick. "I've been starting and managing internet businesses since 1996, claims Ryan. He began working with DoubleClick in 1996, initially as president and then as CEO. He claims, "I grew DoubleClick from 10 or 20 people to 2,000 at the height. Furthermore, 1,500 when it was sold 9 years later." Ryan served as DoubleClick's CEO as it grew to become one of the biggest online ad marketplaces in the world. Ryan departed the business shortly after DoubleClick was acquired by the private equity firm Hellman & Friedman for $1.1 billion in 2005. The PE group sold DoubleClick to Google for $3.1 billion 3 years later. When Google decided to place its advertising future in the hands of DoubleClick, Ryan's skills were already apparent. When Ryan initiates a motion, it tends to stay in motion. Kevin Ryan and Alley Corp. After leaving DoubleClick, Ryan co-founded a network of 3 related internet companies with former DoubleClick CTO and co-founder Dwight Merriman serving as their chairman and CEO. The goal of Alley Corp has been expanded to include starting and funding businesses in New York City. These businesses have hired over 2,000 individuals and have raised a total of over $700 million in venture capital funding. Kevin Ryan and Gilt Group. In 2007, Ryan and Dwight Merriman launched the internet store Gilt Group. Gilt offers artisanal products, hotels, and travel experiences on every continent, as well as clothing for men, women, and kids. Over $240 million in total finance was obtained by Gilt Group. Gilt Group was preparing for an IPO in February 2014. However, the firm sold to the Hudson's Bay Company in January 2016 for $250 million. Its investors include Matrix Partners, General Atlantic Partners, SoftBank Group, New Enterprise Associates, Draper Fisher Jurvetson, and Goldman Sachs. Ryan's understanding of Gilt Group's posture is strongly grounded in the way he can see the development of the startup world. Whenever a new industry emerges, there are a lot of rivals. And then the market consolidates very quickly, he claims. Kevin Ryan and Business Insider. Business Insider was started in 2009 by Ryan, Dwight Merriman, and Henry Blodgett. Throughout its $442 million acquisition by Axel Springer SA, Ryan served as the board's chairman. Kevin Ryan and MongoDB. In 2007, Ryan and Dwight Merriman established MongoDB Incorporated. Ryan presided over the board through the company's IPO in 2017, which had a $1.18 billion valuation. Other New York-based businesses that Ryan has founded and served as chairman of the board for include Zola, Coedition, Nomad Health, and Meetup. Prior to joining Ali Corp in the company's Andreessen Horowitz-led Series A fundraise, Ryan served as Pearl Health's founding advisor and seed investor. He now serves on the Pearl Health board. Ryan has held positions on the boards of INSEAD, Yale University, Tech, NYC, the Trust for Governors Island, Mercy Corps, Partnership for New York City, and Partnership for New York City. He is on the advisory board for Doctors Without Borders and has been named the Director Emeritus of Human Rights Watch. Additionally, he belongs to the Council on Foreign Relations and the Yale International Council. He served as one of the project chairmen for Fashion NYC. 2020. Mayor Michael Bloomberg's examination of the city's fashion industry's future. Ryan was chosen to represent the university's governing body, the Yale Corporation, for a 6-year term on May 30, 2012, according to an announcement from Yale. Ryan received the Entrepreneur of the Year award from Ernst & Young, LLP in June 2009. And The Observer named him one of the 100 most influential New Yorkers of the past 25 years in 2013. Additionally, Ryan was listed in Vanity Fair's 2011 New Establishment list and Crain's New York Business 50 Most Influential Businesspeople lists. A small number of tech entrepreneurs have built billion-dollar businesses. Kevin Ryan has founded numerous billion-dollar businesses. Ryan co-founded DoubleClick, which went public and was later acquired by Google for $3.1 billion. He also co-founded MongoDB, which just completed an IPO with a valuation of $1 billion. Gilt Group, which was recently sold for $250 million, and Business Insider, which was recently acquired for $450 million. These businesses collectively have raised almost $700 million in venture capital funding. And they currently have close to 2,500 employees. Therefore, the founder of numerous companies, Kevin Ryan, a serial entrepreneur, is responsible for the creation of Gilt Group, Business Insider, database company MongoDB, and wedding registry startup Zola. He has greater knowledge than the ordinary CEO on what goes into building and setting up a new office space as a result of his expertise. And today, Ryan is using that insider information to create his newest business, Contour, a visual search and discovery tool for workplace design. The success secrets of Kevin Ryan. From this story, we can deduce the success secrets of Kevin. Find a sustainable trend. What major trends might we expect in the next 5 to 10 years? Ask Kevin and the crew first. Then, for each trend, poses 3 questions. How big is the market? Billions and beyond. Does the product have a clear vision? Are there no obvious limitations? Make a limited bet. They research an idea after it has been mapped. After fewer than 60 days of research, they launch with $250,000 in seed money, might be more now. Instead of creating financial models, Kevin talks to clients about their requirements. Assemble a team. Kevin has a fascination with humans. He believes that finding the proper people is 80% of doing business, and spends 20% of his personal time doing it. Because he thinks that team quality matters more than ideas, he employs a whole staff of recruiters who are continuously looking for new talent. He looks for CEOs with industry-specific experience in order to establish a variety of ventures. Setting culture and staying involved. Kevin serves as an active chairman. He is a true steward of businesses rather than merely an investor. He moves quickly to learn. Perfect, in his opinion, is the enemy of good. He claims that B+ work is optimal and can later be upgraded to A work. Patient, but okay to fail fast. Kevin gives businesses a year to get traction since he knows it takes time to develop substantial firms. But he keeps an eye out for any glaringly early failures. He once ran a firm that assisted the dying. He realized it wasn't functioning after 6 months and sold it at a loss. Timing exits. Kevin responds fast to shifting trends and secures victories when the going rate is favorable. Guilt was once valued at $1 billion, but when he realized the industry was at its pinnacle, he swiftly sold for $250 million. Why Kevin is unique? Because trends are introduced before ideas. Engaged in a variety of industries. Trend forecasting 5 to 10 years out. A proactive board member. A few selected businesses at a time. Prepared to pay less to secure an early adoption.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through our series, Success Stories. We hope you've enjoyed this episode and found inspiration in the remarkable tales of these extraordinary individuals. If you did, please show your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing to our channel.